Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 2026-0414. Today we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. We begin with a story that has jolted both Wall Street and Washington. U.S. regulators have urgently convened the CEOs of major banks after Anthropic previewed a powerful new model called Claude Mythos. According to reporting, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent led discussions in Washington, signaling that this is being treated not as a routine product launch, but as a potential systemic risk to financial infrastructure. Anthropic says Claude Mythos can rapidly identify and chain software vulnerabilities across major operating systems and web browsers. In practical terms, that means compressing what used to take skilled security researchers weeks or months into hours or days. The model reportedly discovers zero-day vulnerabilities using natural language prompts and can connect multiple weaknesses into viable exploit paths. That automation fundamentally shifts the attacker lifecycle from manual research to orchestrated AI-driven exploitation. Anthropic has paused a broad public release and is limiting Claude Mythos to a tightly controlled group of partners while coordinating with governments. That decision reflects the dual-use nature of advanced models. The same capabilities that could supercharge defensive security audits can also accelerate offensive attacks. For financial institutions running complex, often legacy technology stacks, this changes the baseline threat model. Banks must now assume AI-augmented probing as a constant. Static hardening is no longer enough. The priority shifts to deep runtime telemetry, automated patch pipelines, red team automation powered by advanced models, and resilience in incident response. Vendor risk assessments will also need to assume that third-party software is being stress tested by AI systems at unprecedented speed. The broader implication is clear. Access controls and governance for frontier models are becoming matters of national security. Watch closely for new regulatory frameworks, liability discussions, and coordinated defensive tooling from cloud providers and model labs. Staying with cybersecurity, GitGuardian has released sobering data on credential exposure. In 2025 alone, GitGuardian detected 28,649,024 new secrets leaked in public GitHub commits. That's a 34% year-over-year increase and the largest single-year jump recorded. Public commits rose 43%, but what stands out is the impact of AI-assisted development. Commits using Claude Code showed a 3.2% secret leak rate compared to a 1.5% GitHub baseline. AI service credential leaks surged 81% to 1,275,105. GitGuardian highlights the explosion of non-human identities, service tokens, API keys, and machine credentials that power AI agents and SaaS integrations. Secrets are growing roughly 1.6 times faster than developer headcount since 2021. The pattern is structural. As teams accelerate development with AI copilots, configuration files, CI/CD pipelines, Docker images, and third-party connectors accumulate long-lived tokens. Traditional perimeter defenses and periodic scanning are insufficient. The prescription is identity-first security. Ephemeral credentials, automated rotation, pipeline-native scanning, and least privilege defaults. If Claude Mythos represents AI compressing the exploit timeline, GitGuardian's data shows organizations are simultaneously expanding the attack surface. Another security dimension is emerging inside agentic systems themselves. Idon Habler, an AI security researcher at Cisco, disclosed a technique called memory trap that targets persistent memory in agentic architectures. In a demonstration involving Claude Code, Habler showed how a malicious memory object can be injected into a shared store, persist across sessions, and propagate to unrelated users and subagents. Unlike prompt injection, memory trap persists beyond a single interaction. It effectively turns shared memory into a lateral movement channel and a persistent implant. The core weaknesses are familiar from traditional security: lack of provenance, insufficient access controls, and limited observability over memory reads and writes. For organizations deploying agentic workflows, the takeaway is urgent. Treat memory stores like secrets and identities. Implement access control lists, immutability or versioning, provenance metadata, and telemetry to detect anomalous behavior. Agent orchestration frameworks must validate memory before execution. As AI systems gain autonomy and long lived context, memory becomes a first class attack surface. Let's shift to large scale infrastructure and industrial AI. Hyundai Motor Group Executive Chair Chung Ui-sun has outlined a sweeping strategic pivot toward what he calls physical AI. The company is committing $26 billion in U.S. investment through 2028 and repositioning itself beyond traditional automotive manufacturing. Central to this strategy is the deployment of Boston Dynamics' Atlas humanoid robot into production lines by 2028, with plans to scale output to as many as 30,000 units annually by 2030. Hyundai is also expanding software-defined manufacturing at Hyundai Motor Group Metaplant America, or HMGMA, and building out its HTWO hydrogen ecosystem. Domestically, Hyundai plans 125 trillion won in investment over 5 years, including 9 trillion won for a Sae-Mingjum cluster combining robot manufacturing, an AI data center, water electrolysis for hydrogen, and a 1 gigawatt class solar facility. This is not a lab experiment. Scaling Atlas to 30,000 units per year forces advances in reliability engineering, safety certification, actuator supply chains, and human-robot interaction. Hyundai is effectively betting that vertically integrated robotics plus energy infrastructure will define the next era of industrial competitiveness. In AI infrastructure more broadly, ZTE is executing its own pivot. The company reported 2025 operating revenue of 133.896 billion yuan, with computing revenue growing about 150% year over year and now accounting for 24.6% of total revenue. ZTE unveiled a full-stack AI factory solution that bundles AI servers, hypernodes, a lossless high-capacity network fabric, an AI booster operating system, AI agent studio development tools, and an AI factory twin digital simulation platform. ZTE is also promoting its Telco Service Agent, an AI-driven platform integrated with the 5G core to enable intent-based service delivery. The strategy hinges on compute network co-design and software-hardware co-design to improve density and reduce total cost of ownership. However, net profit fell 33.3% in 2025, reflecting margin pressure and rising component costs. Execution and customer validation will be key. Now, for a few other key updates in our lightning round. Researchers have introduced Maple EMIT, an end-to-end vision transformer trained on 3.6 million physics-based synthetic methane plumes injected into EMIT hyperspectral radiance data. Evaluated on 1,084 EMIT granules, Maple EMIT captured 79% of hand-annotated NASA L2B plume complexes and identified roughly twice as many plausible plumes as human analysts. By jointly predicting methane enhancement, plume masks, and source locations, it advances scalable facility-level methane monitoring. Uber, Nuro, and Lucid have begun employee-only testing of the Lucid Gravity robotaxi in San Francisco. The vehicles run Nuro's autonomy stack on NVIDIA Drive AGX Thor compute and integrate cameras, solid-state LiDAR, and radar. Nuro now operates nearly 100 Gravity SUVs in its engineering fleet. Uber has committed to purchasing at least 20,000 modified Gravity vehicles over 6 years, with production expected in late 2026. In legal news, the U.S. Supreme Court is preparing to consider whether states and municipalities can pursue billions of dollars in damages from fossil fuel companies over emissions-related harms. The decision could significantly shape future climate liability and municipal budgets. Finally, authorities have charged 20-year-old Daniel Moreno Gama in connection with a Molotov cocktail attack on the San Francisco home of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and an attempted break-in at OpenAI's Mission Bay headquarters. Federal charges include possession of an unregistered firearm and damage and destruction of property by means of explosives. State charges include attempted murder and attempted arson. The FBI is evaluating whether the case meets the threshold for domestic terrorism, underscoring rising physical security concerns around AI leadership. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.